Is it a medication or Pokemon? Milotic. That's a third-generation water Pokemon. Decadron. That's a medication that helps treat several issues such as severe asthma.
If you're anything like me, you might be wondering, why is it that a lot of English Pokemon names sound like brand names for medications? And I think what it really is that the people naming these are motivated by similar things. After doing some reading, my understanding is that a lot of what drives the creation of a medication name is the effort to try and capture the vibe of the medicine itself, even if it's just an abstract concept. And to use an example from our friends at Pfizer, it's not a coincidence that Viagra shares sounds with vitality and vigor. And Pokemon names are kind of like this too, right? Like a Pokemon name will try and capture what a Pokemon does or what it's based on or vibes in general. And oftentimes it'll be like a pun or a portmanteau that adds more layers of meaning. Like with the Pokemon Sobble, we get Sob, indicating that this Pokemon is kind of a crybaby. We get Bubble, as in water bubbles. And maybe you get Reptile from that at the end. And we can still go a bit further with this, because even individual sounds can be associated with different vibes. For example, front vowels, particularly higher front vowels, think teeny and tiny. Those tend to be associated with smaller things. And back vowels, think like bulky, huge, right? Those tend to be associated with bigger things. And when I see something like claritin, in addition to noticing that it sounds like clarity, I see a lot of these higher front vowels, right? Things that can suggest smallness, something that will lighten you rather than weigh you down. And in Pokemon, we see similar sound symbolism as well, right? For example, Pokemon that have more voiced obstruents in their name, which is sounds that include b, d, and g, they tend to be heavier than Pokemon with more unvoiced obstruents in their name, which is sounds that include p, t, and k. And following that pattern, Dialga is considerably more heavy than Palkia. Now, in addition to trying to catch a vibe, medicines also need to be unique, because you don't want to confuse one medicine with another medicine. That could be dangerous. And I don't know about you, but personally, I can't think of another medication that sounds close enough to Ozempic that I would confuse the two. Now, Pokemon doesn't have to be as unique as medicine. Like, my understanding is that names as similar as Cinderace and Cyndaquil wouldn't fly in the medical world, or at least wouldn't be ideal. But at the same time, we got over 1,000 Pokemon with different names at this point. So I would say there's a similar pressure to consistently come up with new words in Pokemon. And there's more we can get into here, but I think in short, right, we have two entities that are consistently coming out with new concepts or products or innovations, whatever you want to call them. And each individual product needs a distinct, unique name that captures a vibe or the essence in some way. And I think when you have that, you can come up with some, interesting names. And when you have two groups that are doing that at the same time, sometimes you get names that might sound similar, right? Or might overlap a bit.